going on, everybody? UltimatDJz here from the Talking Trek podcast, recorded every Wednesday and Sunday for your listening pleasure. Hey, what's going on? It is that time. We're between the arcs, and it is time for us to tell you what actually happened this month story-wise, okay? For those of you who don't have time to read the missions, or maybe you're at war and you don't have time to stick around to read the missions, then we're going to help you out, okay? We're going to give you the story. What has happened? What is the reason that everything is happening right here inside Duality? Part 1, it was the October arc. Let's see what we can find out. Let's switch on over inside the game and see what we can find out about Duality and our dear friend, Mr. Worf. All right, it starts out with him sending us a message. Hey, I've got a transmission. I'd like for you guys to come check it out. I'm going to send it over to you. And here is the mysterious cryptic message. They have been watching me. I need you to come and help me out, but I don't know who can actually help me. You, too, are a man of two worlds, he says to Worf, so I think you might be able to help me out. We need to go find Jones. He's been helping me look into my past. Maybe he can help you out, all right? So head on over to Shrift. Ask him about Raj, all right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to head on over to Shrift, and we're going to see if we can find him, all right? The transmission was corrupted, so we couldn't trace it, but we're going to see if we can try to figure out what's going on, all right? So Worf says, you going to help me out? Absolutely, we're going to help you out. Worf, we love you, man. So we're going to head on out over into neutral space, see if we can find this broker. Finding him at Shrift. We don't know what that is, but we don't have any planets, no systems, nothing named that way, so we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, he says. Let's just go see if we can find someone to give us some information. Are we going to go to Thema, or Fiersta? Well, I decided to go to Thema, so that's where we're going to go. We lay in a course, and we go. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, but we're going to try to see if we can find someone and see if we can, I don't know, get some information, right? So we find this guy. We offer to try to pay him a little bit, try to find Jones. What do you need with him? Does he operate here? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's here, but we've got to try to find him, this guy, okay? So we're going to head on over to find him. The mercenary is like, you know what? I give you the information for free. I'm not even interested. You go find him. I'm out. All right, so Worf cusses at him in Klingon, and we head on over to Frista to try to find him, this guy, all right? So we have found this guy who sent us some type of rare message, and before we can even open communications, we find another ship trying to hail us, and it's a Romulan ship. All right, hey, you better go. You got no business here. You needs to bounce. Worf says, what do you even know about our plans? And she says, ha, we know everything. We're the Romulans. We know. All right, so then they charge up weapons, and we have to blow them up. All right, so we go do that. We go blow them up, and Maya says it's been dealt with. It's been dealt with, but Romulans now being involved has Worf all kinds of suspicious. So we're going to see if we can find Jones, and there he is. All right, there we go. We find him, and we're asking him about this transmission. We need information about Raj, and of course, Jones, being an information broker, he wants to charge us, all right? So we need Parsteel. Now we got to give him Parsteel. Here are our choices. So that's fine. We decide that we're going to do him a favor. See, here a minute ago, he says, listen, you can either give me the steel or you can do something nasty for me. Well, UltimatDJz decided I love steel too much. I'm going to do something nasty. All right, let's go do a dirty deed. So Maya says, what do you need? All right, then, a favor it shall be, says Jones. I need you to head on over to Pajem and steal something from Starfleet. Worf says, well, listen, I'm not doing it. And Jones says, well, how bad do you want the information? So more cursing in Klingon. All right, there we go. We've got that. And Maya says, listen, it's all good. We go on. And Worf says, you can't expect me to do this. And Maya says, no, we don't expect you to do it. We'll do it. Maya, very devious, very, very devious. But she does say that she'll install a virus. All right, that way the files will be corrupted and unusable once we have the information that we need. So Maya, very, very devious, and Worf saying, okay, sounds good, let's roll. So Maya says, we got to go, we got to defeat a ship. We do that. The engines have been neutralized, disabled, they're dead in the air. So we got to hurry quickly before reinforcements arrive. So Worf says, okay, beam me down. We go. He says, I've got the database files that I need. I'm ready to come on back. So we get him back here, and now Maya is going to start infecting the file with the virus. Jones says, you know what? Kind of surprised to see you back here. Maybe your honor ain't worth nothing. Of course, he doesn't know about the secret virus, and Worf cusses at him in Klingon just a little bit more. Information. Beautiful thing, right? So we give him the payment. Now we need to get the information. Raj, an interesting fellow. All right? Raj is a Romulan-Klingon hybrid. Okay? Very, very interesting. A man of two worlds, which is why the Romulans are searching for him. Raj reached out to this guy to try to find out about his father. All right, his world was turned upside down. He wanted to try to find out about his ancestry. Worf says, what did you find? Well, we found something I'm not going to tell you about, all right? But the only person who could have had the lead is dead. But I don't have a whole lot of information. So we're going to go try to find Raj himself over in Janu. All right, we're going to try to pay him a visit. On the way out, Worf says, hey, we were attacked by Romulans. Just in case, you know, don't tell him about anything or we'll come back and we'll deal with you. All right, so we're going to head out to Janu. We're scanning the system. Now, this is interesting right here. Take a note. Maya says, hey, listen, I'm scanning something, but it's a little bit weird. Worf's like, what is it? Maya's like, a blip? Some kind of sensor echo, perhaps? An error in the data, maybe. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Worf doesn't think anything of it. Let's investigate the colony. So we're going to go on down there. We're getting some kind of a ping from some residential area. But checking the database, we see that Raj does own that property, but there's no life signs there, okay? So we're going to go on down. We find the neighbor. That's what you do. You knock on the neighbor's door. Hey, you need a cup of sugar? Neighbor says, listen, I'm out. I don't want any more trouble. Maya's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're just trying to ask you some questions. All right, we just try to get some information on your neighbor, Raj. He's a cool guy. We went to college together. Anyway, the Cardassians seem like they came by looking for Raj. The neighbor says, well, we told him some information. I ain't risking my life for Raj. He's nice and all, but I like my own skin. So the Cardassians, now Worf knows that they are involved. The neighbor says, nope, the Cardassians took off, but the Cardassians are actually hiding in space, charging weapons, so we got to kill them, all right? The Cardassian ship surrendered, though. Shields remaining at 60%. Worf says, let's check them out. Why are they attacking? All right, so the Cardassians then take that opportunity to take off. More cussing in Klingon, and Worf says, listen, we gotta chase these guys down. We gotta figure out what they know. He's like, okay. Maya's like, listen, already fighting the Romulans. Now you want to fight the Cardassians too? He was like, nope, not smart, but we've got to go. Raj asked for our help, and we have committed to giving it. All right. Worf says, I am also obviously very intrigued by another hybrid. I will not let this opportunity slip through my fingers. So we decide we're going to go. We're going to go pursue the Cardassians, going down to exchange space. We're going to go down there. We find the warp trail. We've been through there, but we don't find the ship. All right. So more cussing in Klingon. We try to chase it, but then we get a transmission from an actual Cardassian. All right. He says, listen, this is the guy. Let's get him. They're trying to blow us up. There's a bounty on our heads. More cussing in Klingon. So we fight the Cardassian, and the ship has been dealt with, all right? But more mercenaries are on the way, so we've got to go. We got to try to find out what's going on with this warp signature, and we discover that the Cardassians are headed for Korok. So we got to go. We on our way, but we've walked right into a Cardassian trap, right into a fleet full of Cardassians. So let's see you fight your way out of this one. I'll enjoy watching your ship burn, cussing in Klingon. And we decide that we're going to take them on. All the wolves are dead. We destroy all the ships. You have nowhere left to hide. And he surrenders. You have my word, I will not flee, he says. Your word meaning nothing. Disable the ship so that we can beam him into the brig. So we get him in the brig. Worf says it's time for us to find out what's going on. We're going to go question him. He says, I will not talk to you. I'm not going to answer. I am not able to be swayed. And Worf's like, ha, you've never been interrogated by a Klingon before. But he calls Worf out and says, you can't torture me. Then Starfleet doesn't really like that kind of thing. So Worf is like, you know, maybe. Maya's like, yeah, you probably should not torture anybody. Worf's like, all right, that's fine. More than one way to skin a Cardassian, figuratively speaking, of course. But we are going to go find one of Worf's old buddies. Now, this is an interesting thing to me in this storyline, is, you know, because the Next Generation crew is not supposed to be from here. How does Worf have buddies? But nonetheless, we're going to head on over here And we're going to find one of Worf's buddies, this merchant here. And apparently these two have a past. Worf wanting to purchase truth serum. And she's like, that was before. That was in the life that you knew me in from before. I am up and up. I'm super clean. And Worf's like, listen, don't mess with me. I know you got the stuff. Just sell me the stuff. And she's like, no, listen, you can't trick me into this. And he was like, listen, just give me the good stuff. Give me the goods. All right. Anyway, she was like, okay, fine. I got the stuff. But I got to charge you titanium for it, okay? It has Regulan bloodworm poop in it. See? Secretions of Regulan bloodworms. That's disgusting. That's just disgusting. Bloodworm poop. All right? Anyway, Maya's like, dude, that seems a little bit expensive. And she was like, listen, they have to be milked by hand. Look at this. The bloodworms are being milked by hand. Maybe it's not poop. Is it just milk? Blech. Blech. Bloodworm mucus. It's so gross. Anyway, we get back. Worf is like, okay, you ready to talk? He says never. Well, that's fine. We're going to drip some of this bloodworm slime on you, and we're going to give it to you, okay? Effects are instantaneous. He was like, oh, wait, no. I don't want the bloodworm mucus. But too late. Worf gives it to him, and now we start the questioning. How did you find out about Raj? And he says, yeah, I learned about him from the information broker. Jones, cussing in Klingon. Cardassians, now what are you interested in him for? It's not what we gain from kidnapping, but from handing him over. Raj is a pawn. And, of course, the Romulans are behind it all. See, the implications of a Klingon-Romulan hybrid and the trouble that he could cause. Worf understands this, says, I understand. More trouble than you know. Where are you keeping him? Well, the truth serum's still working. The bloodworm mucus still working. We got to go get him in Syntech. Now, Maya's curious. What implications of this hybrid are they talking about? Worf says that this could actually be seen as like a sin against nature. The Romulans and the Klingons have been blood enemies since, forever. All right, so Raj might be a symbol for the peace between our people. Either way, he's a powerful political tool, and Worf wants to rescue him. He doesn't want this guy entering into a life of political servitude. So Maya says, okay, fine, what do you want to do with him? And this is a moment that we get a glimpse into the fact that Scopely might actually be TNG fans. They understand the character of Worf, because in the past, Worf says, I would have looked upon him with disgust like other Klingons, but someone once showed me that we're more than a sum of our parts. Maybe it's time to end the war between Klingons and Romulans. Perhaps Raj can be the catalyst for that. As for my plans, that depends on what happens next. So we're going to go try to get to Raj before the Romulans do, and Gull's still in the brig. Oh, you're wasting your time. He's probably already on Romulan or Romulus. More cussing in Klingon, and Worf threatens to cut out his tongue. Very good. See, that's the Worf we love. That's good. All right, so we fly over. More cussing in Klingons. We censor some ships. We scan some ships, so we know we're going to have to fight our way through, okay? We get rid of the first one. We have a small window to take the second one by surprise. So Worf's like, let's ride into battle. We're going to go do that. We're going to kill the guy. Gull says, you've seen nothing yet. Cardassian's going to have your heads. All right, he's still in the brig. Apparently, somehow, he's got open communications to the bridge. It's all good. Finally, we are detected a third ship heading on an intercept vector with us, and we decide that we're going to have to kill it. Worf saying it's a good day to die, as he usually does, and Gull says, either kill me or let me go. I don't want to die on your crazy mission, all right? But Worf's like, nope, we're going to keep you around. You might be more useful. So we find the base, we defeat all the ships, and we find the base. Now, we ask Gurath again, where are you keeping Raj? Where is he? I don't know. He says my job was just to get him and deliver him. I have no idea where he is. So Worf says we need to try to scan and try to find it. Lots of life signs there, but impossible to isolate Raj, all right? But if we can find some way to tap into the facility's database, we might be able to find him, all right? So we decide that we're going to try a mission, all right? We're going to try to beam Worf down and tap into the information from there, okay? Cardassian's already sending reinforcements. Cardassian ships dropping out of warp. We've got to fight while Worf is inside the station, all right? More cussing in Klingon! And he's yelling at guards. He needs more time, so we continue fighting Reds out here in space, and finally Worf says, okay, I'm clear. We've got everything tapped in. We got to go. Maya says, all right, let's download the database. She's initializing the connection. We get in, and we get the information, all right? So now we got to bolt. Maya says, listen, let's get out of here, and then we'll analyze the data. All right. It seems as though he's being held in another facility. They've moved him. So we decide we're going to go. All right. Worf's like, listen, let's just get there. We got to get Raj. We got to get out of here. All right. So here's the thing, though. They find out that the Cardassians plan on handing Raj over to the Romulans to curry favor and then leak intel about Raj's location to the Klingons and actually facilitating the war. All right, the Cardassians are trying to backdoor this thing so the Romulans and Klingons kill each other off, all right? How very Cardassian, Maya says. But either way, we are going to have to stop all this. We got to get Raj so that the Romulans and Klingons don't fight each other. Worf is trying to prevent the war, all right? Now, we head on over to Kimura. We find Raj in this small prison, only one guard ship. We blow it up, and now we are trying to get in and find Raj. But Maya, with another hint of question, a concern. Worf says, what is it? Well, there's no cell here. There's no Raj where Raj was supposed to be. I'm picking up only a few isolated Cardassian life signs. Worf thinking, oh my God, he's already on Romulus. We're too late. But Maya sees it again. A blip on the radar that disappears just as quickly as it's shown up. And Worf's like, listen, can't be a coincidence. We've seen this little blip twice now. And Maya gets wise. Is this some type of cloaking mechanism? All right, Worf's like, well, lock onto it then. Let's blow it up. And we cannot on an invisible ship, Maya says. Well, then forget about it. We just got to keep going through. We got to keep on to the mission, and hopefully we'll figure everything out. Ensure that we weren't followed. We don't see the blip, but there it is again. Another anomaly. The mysterious ship has followed us. So Worf's like, listen, well, there's something we got to do. We got to expose this ship, and we don't have to because they finally decloak. All right, and a dozen more ships decloaking. We are now surrounded. Major Keeler saying you've become quite the thorn in our side, although we've enjoyed watching this little chase. Worf wants to know where Raj is, and they say, of course, we've already got him. He's on Romulus. We intercepted his transmission. We knew that you were going to come and find him, so we took him out of here, okay? We moved our timeline forward. So Worf's like, well, listen, why are you following us? What do we have to do with anything? All right. And Major says that we're Romulans. We don't need to jump headfirst into Klingon, conflict. Not like you Klingons. We want to learn about our enemy and wait for the opportune moment. All right. So we wanted to see how much you knew, Worf, and how far you were willing to go. Had you turned your back like you were advised, you would have saved yourself some trouble. Now, though, you know too much. We must kill you. And that doesn't happen because we're the stars of the game. We defeat the ship, but only just. Our own ship is now damaged, and we're not sure how much more we can take. Worf says, don't worry, we have honor on our side and Maya's like, yeah, I hope so, because more Romulans are coming our way. So finally, after a lengthy battle, Maya says, listen, we can't keep going. We've got to bounce. And Worf says, listen, as much as I don't want to run from a battle, I agree, but we need to regroup. We need to plan our next move because we've still got to get to Raj. If we can expel enough dilithium, we'll create an explosion, and that should be able to give us window to escape. Maya's like, okay, cool, that's fine. Let's get the dilithium. Let's do it. It's released from the cargo bay. We blow it up, and the Romulans have fallen back. So then we have an opportunity to recall and get on out of there. Now, folks, this is where the core missions end. All right? This is where it ends. The mission has turned out to be far more dangerous and complex than I originally anticipated, and we have more work yet to do. This indicates that there is more to come, all right? We must plan an attack on Romulan space so that we know what is coming. What makes you think we'll be successful, says Maya, all right? Maybe, I don't know, Worf says, maybe we have to rally some allies, all right? Make repairs, Commander, and ready yourself. I have the feeling that this conflict is only beginning. That is the conclusion of your core missions, everybody. And that's where we know that we've got something interesting still yet to come, perhaps coming up in Duality Part 2. Now, there was a side mission. We're going to tell you about that here right now, too, if I can get this thing working. Yeah, there we go. There was some side missions as well that were also a little bit interesting. As a matter of fact, I kind of felt like this one might have been a little bit more interesting than what the actual cores were. So we start here with a conversation amongst Commander Riker, all right? Riker sending us a message. We've got a little bit of a situation, just like Worf did. I've got some problems here, and I need you to help me, All right. Despite keeping our true origins under wraps, people know about us. All right. So somebody claimed to communicate with us from Romulan space. She needs help. So we're going to go find her. Inara sends us a message once we arrive into the system. This, obviously, as you can see, is a deep space system. You must be Inara, says Riker. Yes, I'm the one who contacted you. You've got to get me out of here. Don't worry, we're here for you. We're gonna try to help you out. All right. I wasn't sure if you'd receive my message. She's on board now, loud and clear. We couldn't risk responding in case communication lines are being monitored. You can't be too careful. So Inara says you are as wise as I heard. Again, meaning that obviously people know about us. That's kind of weird. Anyway, you said that this was a matter of galactic peace. Yes, I don't really want to talk about it here, but we got to get away from the Romulans. Please, I'll tell you everything. Let's just go. Federation takes care of refugees, says Riker, but she's not a refugee. She is not. She is a member of the Tal Shiar, and she is a defector from the Tal Shiar. Her name is Nalitha. All right, and Riker is a little bit surprised, a Tal Shiar agent. Well, that's not good. You had me fooled. But she's like, listen, I apologize for the deception, but I had to get out of here. My flight from Romulan space was not as subtle as I would have liked. Well, why did you defect, says Riker. Your Tal Shiar doesn't get quite that, you don't get up the ladder with questioning orders. No, she doesn't, she says. But I have trusted the word of my superiors all my life. I believed in our empire and in our Romulan way of life. However, the war has changed our culture. Brightest minds in our civilization wasted on building engines of destruction. Too much. Can't be part of the cycle of death anymore. I want to do something different. Riker says, listen, Starfleet might not buy into this, Nalitha, but we'll take you back, all right? We'll try to see if we can do this. And she says, listen, I offer you a token of my peace. I stole the plans for our greatest, most closely guarded technological advancement, ship cloaking, everybody. If Starfleet grants me safe passage and protection within their borders, I will give them ship cloaking. You hear this, people? This is tying together the story. Bubba, this is what we love, right? This is what we love. We've got a story that ties into what we're doing in the game, all right? This is how we got ship cloaking. If Starfleet can grant me safe passage and protection within their borders, I'm going to give it to them, all right? Riker says, ooh, ship cloaking, very interesting. Way above my pay grade, though. We're going to have to head back to the ship. So we get back to the Enterprise. Jean-Luc's like, oh, yeah. See that you just took off there without notice. No problem there. Appreciate that, number one. And Riker says, I thought we weren't really Starfleet anymore. Ooh, that doesn't fly over very well with Picard. Whether we're Starfleet or not, protocol still means something on my ship. Are we clear, number one? I can totally picture him saying stuff like this. Anyway, understood, Captain. It won't happen again. Whether we're officially Starfleet or not, we must follow the rules, okay? Now, so he says, okay, enough with that. What brings the good commander here with you? That's us. We're the Independents. We've got a situation. Here is a Tal Shiar agent defecting to Starfleet. Well, even Picard is a little bit concerned. Quite unorthodox, number one. She says, listen, I've come to help the Federation. I carry with me the secrets of Romulan ship cloaking. A technology within the right hands could turn the tide of the war. And she's genuine, sir. I can attest to that. See him very, very confidently saying that as well. But even if he did believe her, we have no power to make such a promise. We have no authority in this universe. He says, no rank, perhaps not, says Riker, but we do know someone who can. All right. So Picard says, listen, I don't know. It's absolutely out of the question. We cannot interfere with the proper flow of time in this universe any more than we already have. And Riker's like, listen, Buster, we've already messed up the flow of time here, okay? This technology could save countless lives. And of course, our intelligence could put countless lives at risk. We swore not to meddle in this universe. There can be no exceptions. And then Riker convinces him like he most typically does. A wise man once told me that life is an exercise of exceptions. Your actions with the Outlaws earned you a hero's reputation, sir. It is the only chance we have. Very well, number one. I'll try to get into contact with the Admiralty board and convene a hearing. All right? So Admiral Sterling, we get in touch with him. He says, listen, okay, kind of weird, but we'll meet with you, all right? And she introduces herself to the Admiral as a member of the Tal Shiar. And Admiral Sterling's got a lot of questions, right? She contacted us and fearful that the Tal Shiar may be listening in on Starfleet communications, But Admiral Sterling's got his doubts. Wouldn't be the first time that they've attempted to seek refuge only to betray the Federation. Why should we believe this woman? She comes bearing a great and generous gift, says Picard. The secrets of ship cloaking. In exchange for protection, she's agreed to turn it over. It is indeed quite a gift if it is genuine, he says, but we're going to need to see it in action. So we're going to head on out where she's going to demonstrate the technology, and they're going to take us to a testing ground. All right, so she fires it up. Light refraction process initiated. Cloaking field up in, and she does a little countdown. And then all of a sudden, Sterling says, we've lost the vessel. Mr. Picard, can you explain? He says, no readings. The cloaking was a success. Well, Sterling says, listen, we got a lot to talk about after this demonstration. Please go back and meet us in Lorilla, and we'll talk to you. So the Admiralty Board has rendered its judgment. Nalitha will be offered full immunity for any offenses against the Federation during her time with the Tal Shiar. In addition, she's going to be granted housing and protection. However, should this device prove illegitimate, following inspection, these rights would be rescinded, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Are we clear? Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's good. Welcome to the Federation. And it's over. It's finally over, she says. Now, we have to get back to our station, all right? She says that she's probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So until they get everything worked out, we're going to bring her back to our place, okay? So the Enterprise escorts us back to our base. Nalitha is with us. And all of a sudden, a cloaked ship shows up on our sensors. A short little electromagnetic pulse. And Riker doesn't buy into it. He says, I'm not getting anything. Are you sure everything is functioning? Nalitha knows what's going on. She's like, listen, my cloaked brothers are outside. All of a sudden, several vessels uncloak within weapons range of our base. And the Romulans have arrived. Let's see. So, our station's getting all beat up, all right? Picard sends the Enterprise D out to try to protect us and protect Nalitha. And then a vessel decides that it's going to try to ram our station, all right? And we can't withstand that. A warp core breach within our station shields would destroy us all. We've got to stop it. And the Romulans are beating up on the Enterprise. The shields are down, all right? Picard, the non-essential power to forward shields. I can totally hear him in battle. Like, I could see this in my head. It's awesome. Anyway, Nalitha is transported off of our base, all right? They hammer our shields down, and she's abducted by the Romulans. Riker's like, listen, we cannot let them have her. We got to go. And Picard says, I agree. We must go after her, so we're going to go. All right? But the Romulan vessel has cloaked. We cannot find them. We are too late, says Riker. But her fate is not sealed. We can still find her. The Tal Shiar are not known for being merciful. Time is of the essence. All right, so maybe they left something behind. Data, trying to pick up anything on sensors, can't find anything. But we do believe that we found a transmission. So Picard wants to know what it says, and Data says, listen, I'm trying to decrypt it, but I know where it came from, so let's head on over to the Draken system in Romulan space. All right, we have to go, says Riker. Gotta go. We can't leave her to be tortured and killed, but it is crossing the neutral zone, and something that we should consider carefully. But Riker says, listen, you said it yourself. We're not Starfleet, not here, not breaking any rules. Picard's like, we're outlaws. Let's do it. Make it so. And so we cross over the neutral zone. We are in Romulan space, and we do find a faint warp trail heading to a nearby system. All right, so it's the only lead we got. We're going to follow it, and then we see the Romulan vessels, 2 ships. All right, Wesley Crusher, working the con there, says one of the Romulan vessels is hailing us. So Picard calls for the message, and we find this Romulan insulting Captain Picard and saying, listen, we knew you were coming, all right? We want Nalitha back, and we'll leave and be peaceful. And he says, listen, no, she stands accused of treason against the Romulan Empire, a serious crime, I'm afraid. But Picard says she is under the custody of Starfleet, and by kidnapping her from Starfleet personnel, but he's interrupted. But there are no Starfleet personnel present, were there? Only you, Independence. No treaties broken, no infringements made, and sadly, the Romulan is correct. So Picard says, fine, we're not going to let you take her, and since we're not at risk for starting a war, we just got to take her ourselves. All right, so the vessels are getting ready to go to warp, and we don't know which one she's on. So we decide to split up. The Enterprise D is going to take one while we take on the other. So we go, we find Thojex again, but we do not find the prisoner, all right? It's on the other ship. She was on the second vessel, which was headed directly to an ambush. So the Enterprise D is now in trouble. We got to go. We can either keep this guy or we got to go find the Enterprise D, so we know. We got to go. We got to find the Enterprise quickly. We find them taking heavy fire from multiple targets, taking the pressure off by destroying the lead vessel, but their shields are failing. We got to go. Picard says, listen, what's going on? I need a damage report. And Geordi says, listen, everything is busted up. We're going to be sitting ducks for a while. We got fires on decks, ruptured plasma vents, and a dozen relay burnouts, but we're in one piece. Picard asks how long it's going to take to get back to full functionality. He says 2 hours, and in true Kirk style, he says, you have 45 minutes. That's so funny. 2 hours, sir. You have 10 minutes. Anyway, Data says, listen, we found the combat data, and we were able to pick up residue on the hull of the lead vessel that tells us where it comes from. It's a naturally occurring plasma substance only in the Zova-Ren system. So we know where to go. That's where the base is. We are going to head there, and we're going to hope that that's where they're keeping Nalitha. All right, a Tal Shiar base would be well guarded, so we're going to head on over there. And in the meantime, we're trying to figure out how to find a way through their cloak. Well, meanwhile, Geordi's down there tinkering. He says, listen, I was kind of messing with our own deflector shield pattern buffers, and I remembered that we had a new toy on board. This cloaking prototype, everybody, is on board the Enterprise D. So Geordi says, listen, I think I can make this thing work. You give the word, I'll get it set up within the hour. And Picard says, do so. Very interesting, people. Very interesting. Hone in on this part of the story right here. Commander, with the cloaking device online, we should be able to sneak in past the Tal Shiar front line, but it's not going to protect us from their scanners at close range. We're going to need us, Maya, and our team, to provide a distraction and draw away the guards so we can slip by unnoticed. I'll leave the nature of the distraction up to you. So we all head out to Nova Ren. The Enterprise is in position, and we find the Tal Shiar base in the center of a large asteroid. So we're going to head on over there, and we are going to now begin our distraction, okay? So we find that Romulans have been experimenting on some kind of crystal formation over near their base, all right? So we decide, hey, that's going to be a good distraction. We're going to go blow it up, all right? So that's where we're headed, and in the meantime, Picard and the Enterprise D are going to go get Nalitha, all right? So we find this, we analyze it, we figure it's pretty combustible, so we're going to go blow something up, but a miner finds us, okay? We've been detected, and he's going to try to summon for security. But we decided to blow up the ship first, all right? No alarms were triggered, but now we're running low on time. We've got to blow up this thing, all right? 35,000 dilithium is going to let us blow it up, and so we do, and now it's getting ready to explode. We've got to bounce out, and there's the detonation, okay? So now we're going to get to a safe distance, and we're trying to make sure that we stay protected while the asteroid blows up. However, it does appear that we've achieved our objective. Tal Shiar ships moving away from their base to come and attack us. That leaves the Tal Shiar base open for the Enterprise to get in and find Nalitha. All right, so we go to our rendezvous point. The Enterprise comes out of warp, and we drop our cloak on the they drop their cloak on the Enterprise D, and so now we've got Nalitha. I knew you would come for me, she says. All right, but either way, we've got her. We've held up our end of the agreement. The cloaking device obviously works, but Picard's saying, listen, that's it. You have done what you said. The cloaking device worked great, and we're going to have Geordi share the device specifications with us. That's us, Maya. Perhaps you will be able to make use of it one day, says Picard. And that is the end of the side core mission. Now, a couple of really interesting things here, folks. We now have cloaking technology, at least as far as the story goes, in the hands of not only us, but the Enterprise D. What could that mean in the state of our game? Very, very interesting. Commanders, slightly longer video than I wanted, but some very interesting things. I got to be honest with you, Scopely tied the story into this one quite nicely. Very much connected to the narrative of the month and what we've been doing in the introduction of cloaking. And if you take this story as any indication, as we almost always have, we can now kind of feel that maybe, possibly, the Enterprise D has some technology. Further, it's been shared with us. What does that mean for you, Commanders? only days away from finding out what's going on inside our November arc. Commanders, leave your questions, leave your theories in the comment section below the video. Smash that subscribe button. Give us a big old thumbs up if you like our story and if you had a chance to catch up because you missed what had actually happened this month. I'm sorry if you're at war, but at least now you can get all the story and find out what could be coming next month. My name is UltimatDJz. This is a Talking Trek video, your Duality Chapter 1 chapter summary recap. And I thank you for watching. Be sure to visit our website, TalkingTrekSTFC.com, and know that we love you. My name is UltimatDJz, and your friendly neighborhood cat person is saying meow for now. Love you, man, and see you later. Meow, bye.